I will extol you, my God and King, and bless your name for ever and ever. I will bless you day after day and praise your name for ever and ever. The Lord is kind and full of compassion, slow to anger, abounding in mercy. The Lord is good to all, compassionate to all his creatures. All your works will thank you, O Lord, and all your faithful ones bless you. They shall speak of the glory of your reign and declare your mighty deeds. The Lord is faithful in all his words and holy in all his deeds. The Lord supports all who fall and raises up all who are bowed down.
Hello, Monsignor Daniel McHugh. Listening to the Lord, my reflection for the 14th week of the year. Learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart. Words of our Lord, St. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 11. Last week, I focused in my reflection on the Holy Father as Father of the Church family, and I enjoyed unpacking, in the light of the Father's Day, the key role of fathers in our families, inspired by the teaching of Pope Leo. This week I am focusing on the role of shepherd, taking up Pope Leo's statement in his first encyclical that he is writing to the world with the heart of a shepherd and a father. The role of the Pope as the shepherd of the flock, and the role of bishops too in this regard, has come to the fore on the solemnity of St. Peter and St. Paul, the 29th of June, with the Holy Father continuing the ancient tradition of bestowing the pallium, a woolen collar embellished with crosses, on archbishops across the world in St. Peter's Basilica. The Gospel for the Vigil Mass of the solemnity is taken from chapter 21 of St. John's Gospel, where Jesus asks Peter 3 times about his love for him. Peter says, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." It is then that Jesus says to him, first, "Feed my lambs," then, "Tend my sheep," and finally, "Feed my sheep." The role of shepherd, so much that of our Lord himself, is conferred on the one with such great love for the Master. On Monday this week, we saw Pope Leo bestowing the pallium on some 35 archbishops. One of them was Archbishop Moth, the new Archbishop of Westminster. The Pope said to each one in Latin, "May this pallium be for you a symbol of unity and a sign of communion with the Apostolic See. may it be a bond of charity and encouragement to fortitude. In his homily, Pope Leo spoke of unity in a synodal church. Communion within the church is not built by clinging rigidly to one's own position, but by seeking in all hearts points of encounter in the truth. It was in the context of that Pope explained the meaning of the rite celebrated in this solemn day. The white pallium woolen bands, he said, express the commitment of every shepherd and also every Christian to take upon their shoulders the brothers and sisters entrusted to them, like so many lambs of the Lord's flock, and to sacrifice their energy, time, effort, and even their lives for them. Archbishop Moth explained later to Vatican News how he personally likes the tradition of receiving the pallium from the Pope, as it is, and I'm quoting, a symbol of your closeness to the Petrine ministry from the Holy Father himself. It's a very powerful experience, a very powerful sign, I think, for everyone. The tradition of the pallia being placed on the shoulders of the archbishops goes back to the 6th century, and the blessing of lambs on the feast of St. Agnes, from Agnus, lamb, by the Pope on the 21st of January. It is tied to an ancient legend that the saint who was executed in the stadium of Domitian, on the site of Piazza Navona, where a stunning church is to be found dedicated to her, appeared to her parents after her death when they came to pray at the tomb. They saw her surrounded by a choir of virgins and holding a pure lamb in her arms. Hence the custom that the Holy Father is presented with 2 lambs on the feast, and they are cared for by sisters, and later they are shorn of their wool, and it goes to making the pallia, the woolen collar conferred on the feast of St. Peter and St. Paul. The connection with the words of our Lord to Peter, as recorded in John 22:21, is clear. What a wonderful symbol of the vocation of the Holy Father, the bishops, and all of us indeed, to seek to follow our Lord, a way of love as the way of the shepherd of the flock. For 2 days before the solemnity of St. Peter and St. Paul, Pope Leo took part in a consistory with the cardinals of the Church. Leo had invited them to offer their advice on evangelization and other priorities in the mission of the Church. The synodal approach to this is very much one of listening to each other, but above all, listening humbly to the Lord himself. This was the approach we took at our annual conference for priests, entitled Synod of Priests, recently. There were keynote addresses, but the most important moments were when we listened to each other. This was when we heard what was impacting on each of us, striving to live the priestly life each day. The invitation of our Lord in the Gospel for the 14th Sunday is then to take the concerns to him. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Jesus is right there beside me, and he bears the burden with me, the true shepherd of the flock. Learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart.